I'm a proud Gen Z. My name is Mania Joseph from Navari Limited, an engineer actually. So today let's go deep, at least let's get serious, at least technical bit. Just a few minutes, right? Yeah. So under localization, we are trying to come up with the local solutions so that we can meet the standards of the software, the ERPNext system into our market. So among the local solutions, you can see there, we have a number of them. We have business processes, tax compliances, payment integration, and biometric integrations. So starting with the business processes, we have applications such as CSFKE. This one entails all the tax reports, sales tax report, purchase tax report, all of them. The app is on Frappe Cloud. Then we have another one, utility billing. This one caters for those billing services such as monthly water billing, maybe electricity. Then we have another piece, rate pay, for those who are working like if your business, if you are paying your people daily, laborers, daily payment, or you're paying them per month, but calculation is done per the work they are doing. So we have the piece rate pay. Then attendance timesheet integration. That one caters for if you are paying your people depending on the time, actually, like the US-based payroll system, which you calculate their payroll depending on time. So attendance sheet, it converts the attendance, calculates the hours, then converts them to timesheet. Then from timesheet, you can calculate the amount depending on the rate actually. Then coming to biometric integrations, normally Frappe has ZK Tackle, which is popular. So from there, we have a number of people who are using Suprema Biostar. So we had to do this integration. Of course, they give you the APIs and then they expose reports. So from the reports, you can sync the attendance from the biometric to your ERPNext instance. Then we have CAMS biometric, which operates different from Biostar biometric. With CAMS biometric, they have a scheduler, which automatically sends the data into your system directly. So they have both apps around Frappe Cloud. Then payment integration, we have M-Pesa, we have cellular thing. I'll come to that later. So let's go to tax compliances. We have a number of applications, of which some are complete, some are still in progress. Among them, you can see we have Kenya Compliance, the OSCU one. Then Kenya Compliance via SLED 360. Then we have Teams Tevin Type C. All of the three belongs to Kenya. They comply with their A-teams. Then we have Burundi Compliance, of which belongs to Burundi. So localization of compliance, let's start from here. So last year we were in Burundi, actually the last event. We were not around with Brian. We went to Burundi to implement an ERPNext for a certain company, and one of the requirements was our system must have been integrated with the Revenue Authority of Burundi. So we were there for a certain period of time. We were there for a certain period of time to do that. So why do we do compliance integrations? We want to enhance business operations and reduce legal and financial risks, such as fines. So by doing that, I think we are solving a problem, and when you solve a problem, actually, people will adopt your product, right? Yeah, so what we've built so far, we have the Burundi Compliance, Kenya Compliance via SLED, Kenya Compliance, then we have Teams Tevin Type C. So as I said earlier, we went for Burundi, and one of the things we did was the integration. So the normal process we do at our company, on the tech side, if we have a problem, we break it down. We do seamless integration. We make sure the ERPNext functions remains the way they are when we are doing the integration. So the first thing we do is the design. Then we come to the development. Of course, this involves coding. Of course, With the Burundi Compliance coding, it took almost 3 months, which we ensured we are sending the accurate data to the revenue system. Then the testing occurred in 2 bits. We have the automated test, of course, that's for dev. Then we have internal testing, we're testing with the business people. Then the third one is the final round of testing. Of course, we are presenting the solution now to the revenue authority to be approved. The third testing was a little bit hard, not really hard, challenging, because when you're presenting your solution, your first language is English. Then Burundi, their first language, I guess it's French. So it was a little bit of challenge, but after 5 months, the product was approved and it's being used by a number of people there. So a summary of compliances process and how we take the design. We narrow down to our design. We do the setups. Setups involve configuration and configuration, which involve your ERP instance communicating with the revenue authority systems. Then most compliances, they mainly track the stock, your stock in and stock out, then the invoice. So with stock in, stock out, we track this using stock ledger. Then from there you can send your invoice, real-time invoice. Yeah, so on the right you can see that's a workspace for Burundi Compliance, or the doc type that we used, and a number of reports. You can see they had only 6 APIs, so it wasn't really that challenging. So let's come back to Kenya. We have Kenya Compliance vs. LED. LED is a middleware which has been approved by KRS. So this project is done and it's being used by a number of people. Then we have Kenya Compliance. This one is sending direct data to A teams. This one is in final staging. We are waiting for approval. Then we have Team Tevin Type C. So Team Tevin, we have a gadget called Tevin. So when you buy the gadget, you are given a server IP address, then the server name. Then you install it at your local premises. So with this, we've integrated this with the ERPNext. When you send an invoice, it automatically brings response. Then you can hand over the sales invoice to your customers. So on the right, you can see we have a workspace for A teams. Both compliances, you can see the first one, the second one, they have the same setups. Doc type are the same. Fetching of the country, taxation type, packaging, almost everything is the same. So that's a sample of invoice response from both compliances. Yeah. Then you can see a sample of an invoice. You can see a sample of an invoice with the response that you've gotten, either from KRA, Burundi, whatever the system you're using. With that being said, let's go to challenges while integrating the compliance application. One of them was the Burundi Compliance. Let's start with that. The main problem, not really a problem, a challenge, was the documentation, and the regulatory team were all speaking French. But thanks for the online conversion tools, I was able to do that, converting from English to French every now and then. I learned some French, by the way, so I'm happy for that. Kenya Compliance, those who have done A teams know this, mapping of the items, HS code, tax category. Yeah, it's a little bit of challenge, but this one, you push it at a setup stage. So when you are doing a setup, Kenya Compliance, a setup for a person using ERPNext, we have to send all the items you have first. You map them to tax categories, country of origin. You can see the sample of screenshot on my right. So you map the items, then you register them to items. Then from there is when you can do any transaction using the item that you've registered. You can't send an item that has not been registered. So how has this helped us as a development team at Navari? So actually currently we have a faster delivery, like the Burundi Compliance was among our first compliance product, yeah, and it took us almost 6 months, but we can see like Kenya compliance via SLED, it took us almost 2 months to complete, and we are happy for that. Then the next, which direct us to the next advantage, kinda we have an in-depth understanding of compliances, and recently we learned that Rwanda, Zambia are using the same system as Kenya. So with this being said, you can just go and fork our repository, Kenya Compliance, look at the design, tweak here and here, and then you see how it can help you if you are integrating the Rwanda system or Zambia system. So with that being said, all the products are open sourced. You can go to our GitHub account, then you can fork any repository freely. But if you fork, don't forget to give us a star. It's not mandatory though. Yeah. So with that being said, thank you. The next speaker is not really around. He was to be around, but it's life, something happened, and he will show up later. So I'll take up there. So elevating ERPNext in Africa through payment integrations. So why we do payment integrations? As Kenyans first, I don't think I've ever used a card actually, but don't ask how I pay my online services. I do pay them using cards, but I've never used a card, like physical card. So mostly we do use M-Pesa and other methods actually of transactions. So why we do payment integration? We have seen digital payments have been increasingly used by a number of people, dominance in transaction as compared to cash. So our approach is to streamline and to automate all the payment, a number of payment through processes of payment such as sales invoices. And we make sure we track the payments so that we avoid issues concerning if you've paid or the customer did not pay this or that. So that being said, we have a number of applications we've come up with. We have C2B, M-Pesa, then we have Ting. M-Pesa, we have 3 APIs that they expose. We have C2B, Express, and B2C. So Ting, we have card, mobile money, and direct bank transfer. So let's narrow down to let's narrow down to M-Pesa payments first. So all the 3 APIs, we use a single doc type called M-Pesa settings, where you do your all configuration. All this you get it from Daraja API. Then focusing on C2B, we have a payment register URL where you register your URL. Then when you register, it changes status to success if it's not registered at another point. This entails your business short code until number you've been given. Then when you make any payment or when your customer makes any payment, you get your response. So the money will come in your account as a draft. Then from there you can reconcile with your invoices. That's short on C2B. Frappeting payments, you have Ting setting, you register your URL, but majorly with Ting, you have to register your URL manually. You have to send them email, then they register, then when a customer initiates a transaction, you'll get back their response in the system, then you can reconcile with your invoices. So with that being said, let's go deep a little bit. That's a doc type called M-Pesa Express. No, M-Pesa settings, which stand for which represents or you can do setup for all the M-Pesa APIs. One of them is M-Pesa Express. We have the other one B2C or C2B. Configuration are the same. Safaricom or M-Pesa gives you all credentials similarly. So with that being said, as I said earlier, with C2B, customer to business, is where customer pays amount then get reflected in your account. So with this one, this is where I was talking, where you register your URL. When you save, it has to come success. When it goes success, it will register your URL on the Daraja platform. So from there, when a transaction is made from a customer, you get your response. Then we record the response in a doc type called M-Pesa C2B payment register. Then from there, we do save this in draft. Then those who have used POS Awesome, you know, when you are reconciling, when you reconcile with an invoice, the status of this transaction changes from draft to submit, which means it has been used. So that's a rough idea on how we use this. Then our next one, we've done M-Pesa C2B reconciliation directly with the normal invoices. Yeah, we've done this M-Pesa payment reconciliation with the normal invoice. So you fetch your customer, then using the customer's name. Recently, M-Pesa, they don't return the phone number, so it's hard to do multiple reconciliation with different customers, as a person had asked me earlier on. But we just use a single customer. We fetch the invoices, we fetch the M-Pesa payments. Then from there, you can reconcile normal. So let's go back to the next one, Ting mobile payment. This one doesn't have a lot of setups. When you do a setup at this point, we create a payment gateway, the payment gateway account. Then what you do, you register, it will create a mode of payment actually. Then you have a customer URL, then a callback URL, then the configuration, you send them through the email to the cellulant guys, then they will configure that in their system. So when there is a payment, of course you'll get it. Because your callback URL, make sure the response you're getting from your callback URL, you are recording on a specific doc type. Of course, you have Ting payment register, so your transaction will come at this point. Then if you have transaction in the system, you can always reconcile with your invoices if they are. Then with that being said, I think I'm done with the payments, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Then from here, let me call upon Umei. Yeah, so as Umei is coming, over a month we've been doing a project. We've been doing a project which is, since we had some failures in remitting money or payment through Frappe Cloud using some cards or so that's like a problem. So we decided to have our local payment to be remitted to Frappe Cloud. So with that being said, we had come up with a project which involved M-Pesa on Frappe Cloud. With this one, we did go with direct M-Pesa Express, whereby we have the STK push. When a person directly, when you want to pay, you just click, then you get an STK push. Then when you pay, on the account, your money gets reflected back and your credit gets reflected back on Frappe Cloud. So that is a simple design. Of course, normal, those who have paid, you usually have this, right? Yeah, so we added the M-Pesa button there. So what you do, you enter your amount, then you enter your phone number, then you choose payment partner. Of course, we will have a number of payment partners. Then from there, the tax will be entered there by the partner, of course. Then what you do is just enter the phone number and the amount. That is it. Then your tax ID. If it's the first time, you enter the tax ID. If it's the second time, the tax ID, of course, will have been saved, and the phone number, you just enter the amount. So with that being said, let's play a short video on how this takes place. I don't know if it's clear, but you can see, right? Then from there, you can download your invoice. Yeah. I really appreciate you for listening to this, guys, and let's keep building the community. Yeah, thank you.